Hey guys, welcome to Chapter 6 of the Pre-Algebra program. This is our final chapter of this semester, so congratulations, you're almost there. And this chapter is kind of fun because we're dealing with ratios and proportions, which I just find one of the funner concepts in pre-algebra, so hopefully you will too. They're pretty easy. I don't think that you'll have much trouble with them. So I'm going to try to squeeze in 2 sections into this video because I think that you'll move through it pretty quickly. So in these 2 sections, we are going to write proportions in simplest form. We're going to write ratios as unit rates. And then we're going to identify, write, and solve proportions. So that sounds like a lot, but I promise it's really not too bad. So just right out of the gate, when they ask us to write proportions in simplest form, they're going to give us something like, there are 15 vans out of 40 vehicles. And we want to write that as a fraction, basically, in simplest form. So I'm going to write 15 vans on top because that's listed first in my sentence, over 40 vehicles. And then I'm just going to reduce this fraction like we've done lots of times so far this semester. So I find the greatest common factor of 15 and 40, and hopefully you know it to be 5. And so I'm going to divide top and bottom by 5 here. 15 divided by 5 is 3. 40 divided by 5 is 8. And that is our proportion here in simplest form. So 3 vans to 8 vehicles. Okay. Again, maybe they'll say something like, there are 30 birds out of 6 birds. Notice in this one, the bigger number is on the top. And that's okay. When we're dealing with proportions, we don't need to worry so much about, oh, the smaller number needs to be on top. It's all about how the information relates to each other. So for our purposes, we're just going to keep it the way that it is, and we're going to reduce it. So I ask myself, what goes into 30 and 6? And hopefully you'll get 6. And then 30 divided by 6 is 5 birds over 6 divided by 6, which is just 1 birds. And you could leave it like that, or we could just go ahead and reduce it one more time. Since we're dealing with proportions, we would usually leave it like this, but I understand if you want to get it down a little bit further. Okay, so that's just simply writing them in simplest form, so that should be pretty easy. And then what about if we want to write a ratio as what we call a unit rate? So maybe they give us something like, there's $56 that were spent on 8 tickets. And we want the unit rate. Unit typically means 1. And we want that in the denominator. Denominator. So basically, what do I have to divide top and bottom of this fraction by to get 1 in the denominator? Well, it's always going to be the number that's in the denominator. So all I have to do is divide 56 by 8 and 8 by 8, and I'll get $7 over 1. And what that means is the unit price is 1 ticket for $7. All right, let's do another one. What if 785 all over 5 pounds? Okay, so it cost $7.85 for 5 pounds, and we want to write that as a unit rate. So of course we're just going to divide top and bottom by 5. So I get 1 pound on the bottom. And then you're going to have to take that big number, 7.85, and divide it by 5. So your best bet is to long divide that. And I'm going to go ahead and just fill it in. I'm trusting you guys you can divide that. So the unit rate is $1.57 for 1 pound. Okay, and that's basically it for the first section. So again, there's several examples in the text, but I feel like this will be pretty simple, pretty straightforward, just simplifying fractions and then writing it as a unit rate. You should be good. Message me if you have any questions. But otherwise, let's move on to section 2. So this is 6.2. And here we're going to test whether two sets of ratios are a proportion and then learn how to solve them. So how do we test if two numbers are what we call proportional? And the answer is that their cross products are equal. Now remember, I was using that term last chapter. Cross products means they're on opposite sides here. So the question is, does 4 times 5 equal 2 times 10? If those cross products are equal, then it is a proportion. And in this case, 20 equals 20, so this would be a proportion. So yes, that would be good. Okay, but what if I had 16 over 5 and we wanted to know if that was proportional to 6 over 2? So we set up our cross products, 16 times 2. We wonder, is that the same thing as 5 times 6? Well, this is 32 and this is 30. So no, these are not proportional. And this idea of proportionality will become very important for us. So it's important for you to hear and understand the word, and that not every set of fractions are in a sense proportional. Two ratios or two fractions are proportional if these cross products are the same. So you're always looking at those cross products. Okay, so now let's say we know that the two fractions or ratios are proportional and we want to solve them. Well, again, that would mean that their cross products are equal. So I could solve for this unknown by simply multiplying my cross products, by putting 7 times 63 and having that equal x times 49. 7 times 63 is a big number, 441. And then I want you again to get used to writing the number before the variable over here. That's going to help us now as we solve this one-step equation. Remember this? We get to practice it. We'll practice it forever. It'll be in your life forever now. Okay, we want to isolate x. How do we solve for x? And again, hopefully you're feeling more comfortable with this. We solve for x by recognizing that 49 is being multiplied by it. And we undo multiplication with division. And so we could divide 441 divided by 49, and I'm going to get 9. So because I know that my cross products have to be equal, it allows me to set up these cross products as an equation and solve it using the skill that we learned a couple chapters ago. So I love math. Math is always building. We're just always building your toolbox full of these weapons that you can pull out so that you can solve a whole bunch of stuff. Okay, let's do just another one of those maybe, and then we'll write them. So what if I had 8 over 13, and that is equal to b over 65? Well, I'm going to multiply my cross products. 8 times 65, and that's going to be equal to 13 times b. And 8 times 65 is, again, pretty big, 520, and that's going to equal 13b. Now, identify the variable. It's being multiplied by 13. In these cases, it pretty much always will be. So just do your division there, and 520 divided by 13 is 40. Okay. Hopefully you guys are good. What happens if they give it to us in word form though and we have to write it? Ah, no, it's not bad at all. What if you had 12 cookies? We're getting into the holiday season, so let's talk cookies. You have 12 cookies and you bought them for $3, but your friend wants 16 cookies and doesn't know how much that's going to cost her. Okay, I would totally be the one buying the 16 cookies. I don't know about you. All right, so let's set up the proportion. The proportion is always going to come from the two pieces that you know for sure. And that is there are 12 cookies for $3. Now, which one you put on top and which one you put on bottom does not matter as long as when you set up your second proportion that the right units go on the right side. So I have cookies on top, which means for my second proportion, the cookies also have to go on top. And what I'm looking for is the money that it's going to cost me, and those are coming on the bottom. So the order doesn't matter with the initial setup as long as your units stay consistent. So I have cookies on top, money down below, and I'm looking for money down here. Okay, now I can do my cross products, and I'm going to do 12 times x, and that's going to equal 3 times 16. 12x equals 48, and your friend is going to have to spend $4 for her 16 cookies. Okay, let's do one more like that where you have to write it out, and then I think you guys will be good here. Not too bad today, I don't think. Okay, what if you had to buy 6 plums for $2, and then your brother needed to buy 10 plums for who knows how much? All right, you're trying to help him budget for his 10 plums. Okay, so you're going to set up with the two values that we know for sure. That gives us the ratio in order to make the conversion. So you have 6 plums for $2. Now, again, plums are on top, so I better put plums on top over here. And what you're looking for is how much that's going to cost. Okay, so now we're going to set up our cross products. We're going to do 6 times x. That's going to equal 2 times 10. 6x equals 20. And again, and now we have that. There's the variable being multiplied by the 6. So I'm going to divide both sides by 6. And x equals 26. Now, we do want to reduce this, like always. So 26, we can divide top and bottom by 2. Make it 10/3. And this is money, so we might want to convert that to, at the very least, a mixed number. And if you're super smart, how would that convert to actual money? So it would be $3, and then 1/3 we'd have to convert to a decimal, which is 33 cents. So I would be fine if you got to this point, but it'd be fun to push yourself a little bit and see if you could actually get it to the monetary value. Okay, you guys, that's the first 2 sections of this chapter. There's lots of examples in your book. I want you to go ahead and finish up your notes and get started. Good luck.